What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Yeah, we're here. We're back. We're ready to talk about UFC 287. And if you want to check out our YouTube, we actually did two separate videos where I did my thoughts on the Adesanya versus Pereira fight, and Zach did his as well. So be sure to check that out. Give us some feedback on that. And so let's get right into it. So with the prelim headliner, you got Kelvin Gastelum taking on Chris Curtis this Saturday. I'm excited for that fight. Anytime Chris Curtis fights, he throws down. It's always a good fight. Kelvin Gastelum is the slight favorite in there, so Chris Curtis is going to win. Yeah.
Pretty much. I think that has the potential to be fight of the night. It depends on what Kelvin we're going to see, because I think Chris has shown that he will steadily come in there and bring it. Kelvin has shown that he can go in there and bring it, but sometimes he doesn't. So, if that fight stays on the feet, I give it to Chris. He's just way too clean. Kelvin gets a little sloppy sometimes, but his wrestling is really good. So,
yeah,
if it goes to the ground, I would think that Kelvin wins it, but I don't think it goes to the ground too often.
I don't think it does either. Chris Curtis isn't easy to get down. You know, I don't think Jack Hermanson was even able to do it, and that says a bit right there. You know,
piss me off.
Fucking dude, I was that, but Jack Hermanson won that fight, and I was pretty pissed off about that. But I really like Chris Curtis, man. The guy's had a really good resurgence since he got signed to the UFC, because he had actually retired, then came to the UFC. Kelvin Gastelum, since the Adesanya fight, a couple years ago, like he really hasn't really had a even like flow, you know.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to string a bunch of wins together. He hasn't been able to show that he was the guy that fought for a title.
Yeah, I mean, and it sucks to see, because it's like the dude's good, but I don't really know where his head's at when it comes to fighting. I mean, the dude's able to make weight though. He's able to show up. He shows that, just because he's 5'9", and these guys usually middleweight are like 6 foot 6'2". That he can hang in there with them, but I'm still gonna go Chris Curtis though. I don't know if he gets the finish, just because Kelvin Gastelum's, I don't think he's ever been knocked out before.
There was a knockout with him and Bisping. He knocked out Bisping.
Yeah, he knocked out Bisping, and so that was Bisping's last fight. And I wish he would never took that fight. That still makes me sad.
Because that was a real short
it's
fight.
Like 2 weeks notice after getting choked out by freaking GSP. And what's it called? So there's that. Then you got the main card opener starting off with Raul Rosas Jr., the next big thing, taking on Christian Rodriguez. There's a lot of hype going in with Rosas, you know, and I see it though, you know.
Yeah, I get it. His grappling is so good. It's exciting to see a jiu-jitsu guy as quick and exciting as he is. I feel like the level of jiu-jitsu hopefully is kind of raising with him, and we get to see another wave of higher level jiu-jitsu guys. That would be pretty cool, because we had jiu-jitsu and then we have wrestling. Is this kind of what's coming next? I don't know, we'll see. But I think once he starts fighting people, and he's obviously being pushed, but if they start giving him opponents who are at the level of the spots he's getting on the card, I think he starts having trouble really fast.
Yeah,
because he's fighting on main cards now, and it's his third fight in the UFC.
Third fight in the UFC technically is second, because the first the contender series.
I count contender series
because it counts on the record as well.
Yeah,
you know.
So I don't know why it doesn't count as a UFC fight, but anyway, I do get why, because they don't have. That's them fighting for a contract, so they're not UFC fighters yet. I do get that. I just think that you're fighting under a UFC promotion.
Yeah.
Seems weird to not count it as a UFC fight. But anyway, semantics doesn't matter. I think he's getting these main event slots or main card slots, and if he starts fighting main event or main card fighters, he starts having trouble, because they're going to be a much higher level than he's used to. So if take the opportunities you're given, but if they're pushing him really fast, which it seems like they are, and they start giving him those opponents, I wouldn't want, you don't want to be the guy that turns down fights because you want to build yourself up, Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
But sometimes you might have to, and I feel like he's going to be in that boat where he might have to turn down some fights because he hopefully knows he's not ready for them. If he is ready for them, cool, and I'm wrong, awesome,
Yeah,
because that's fun.
yeah. So the guy he's fighting is Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez is 8-1. He has half of his wins come by way of submission. His only losses by a decision. Which was his first fight in the UFC, and so he's fighting somebody who has this is his going to be his third fight in the UFC. So the guy is used to the bigger stage,
Yeah,
and so he's getting somebody who's more experienced than just somebody like Jay Perrin. And Jay Perrin has the experience when it came to the main stage. He wasn't fully prepared for that, which isn't an issue though. I mean, you're fighting like the biggest organization in the world when it comes to MMA. But I think they're pushing him right. I don't know how I feel about him, going about putting him on the main card like you're saying, just because like I see guys like Kelvin Gastelum and
yeah,
Chris Curtis fighting as the prelim headliner, and and so but it makes sense why you put him on the main card, because people want to watch this 18-year-old kid go in there who's still in high school, go in there and fight somebody. People are fans of that, and is bringing a lot of eyes to the sport. But I mean, I think it's gonna be definitely. I think if Rosas wins, it's gonna be by decision, just because I think the guy is fighting against Christian Rodriguez, like his record. I don't know much about him, but looking at his record, though, he's ready for any type of grapple exchange.
yeah. And if both guys are at the same level, it should be a very fun fight. I hope that it goes to the ground and we see some pretty crazy transitions and sweeps, because I'm a huge fan of that.
Yeah,
Love when we get to see that. I will, just to be petty, I guess, I'm gonna go with Christian.
yep,
It's my boy Christian. Ain't you heard?
yeah. Shit, dude. Now I did. Now
Yeah,
I know. So, let's see for the second fight on the prelim. I mean, I'm sorry, the main card. Fuck. The main card is gonna be Kevin Holland taking on Santiago Ponzinibbio. This is a good fight. I'm excited for this
yeah.
one.
It's kind of a weird matchup.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but just seeing those two names together is weird to me. I think I still picture Kevin Holland as the middleweight, so maybe that's why. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I hate to say it because I do like Ponzinibbio, but I don't see him winning this fight.
I don't know, man. It's just like it's a weird one. Like Kevin Holland has such a weird style, but he's really he'll be kind of or unorthodox. Then he'll put together a really good combination. So it's like he's able to mix his technicality along with his of him being himself and being able to show off what he can do and be creative at the same time. So it's it's a weird one, and I don't really know where Kevin Holland is at, as in what he wants to do with his career. If he's trying to fight for a title, or if he's just trying to fight, because Ponzinibbio wants to fight the best. He wants the title. He wants to get, because he was that close to breaking into the top five,
Yeah.
and then he tore his ACL. So Ponzinibbio's fighting to show everybody he's the best, while Kevin Holland, I don't know if he's just fighting just to fight, and he's coming off that loss against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which was a really really fun fight. The only reason why the fight was called a TKO was because he broke his hand in that fight.
And I feel like there were a lot of moments where he could have won that fight had they not had that quote unquote gentleman's agreement to not go to the ground. I think there were some moments where he could have won the fight. There were moments where Stephen Thompson could have won the fight had they had not made that agreement. So it was an interesting fight.
Yeah.
And if you want to look too deep into it, then Kevin Holland could have won that fight. I think he had the opportunity. I think he rocked Stephen Thompson first and let him back up. And there's so many times where he let him back up, and it's just I get it. That's cool. And then you lost.
Yeah.
So
it just it led to eventually he ended up breaking his hand, and then he lost that fight. So it's I'm a big fan of Kevin Holland. I think it's cool that he trains in Houston as well with crew Bob Perez, but I don't really know what his goals are in the sense of when it comes to competing still, because I know he likes to go in there, fight, beat the shit out of people, make a check, and call it a day, but also Kevin Holland doesn't, he's very chill. He likes to play around, he likes to joke around and shit. So I don't see him making his goals well known to the public, as in what he wants to do with the fights game, but Ponzinibbio, I mean, if it goes to the ground, he doesn't give a shit about a gentleman's agreement. He's gonna take as much advantage of that as he can, and I think that's his best bet. Um, like I feel like Kevin Holland is the better striker of the two, but Ponzinibbio just is able to stick to a game plan and stay technical the whole time, you know, not get sloppy.
Yeah,
And that's what makes him that's why I think he's kind of more,
a more complete
yeah,
fighter.
more complete fighter, and he has a better chance of taking this.
Okay, well, I'm going Kevin Holland. I just feel like they'll Ponzinibbio. He's not. I mean, yes, if it goes to the ground, that's where he's going to be better in the fight. But I could also see him getting sucked into a stand-up fight with Kevin Holland because it's just fun,
Yeah.
and I think Ponzinibbio likes a good fight. You look at his fight with Michel Pereira. That was a weird fight, but it looked like a fun one, and I think they were both kind of having fun. You know how Michel Pereira fights are, but
Yeah.
I think if he goes in there and stands with Kevin Holland, he's going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Because I think if Kevin Holland was able to rock Stephen Thompson, he's definitely going to be able to rock Santiago Ponzinibbio.
I think so too. That's a good point. I mean, because Kevin Holland is super long for the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Like he's big, you
And
know.
Thompson is lengthy for that division, so Holland is even more lengthy. I don't know. I think he's a bit too big. I think he's a bit too strong. As long as he can keep it clean, he'll take that fight by knockout, I think.
Yeah, Kevin Holland's got an 8-inch reach advantage on him too.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be. I think that's gonna be very apparent. Like Ponzinibbio was getting touched up by Alex Morono when they fought, and so that's and
Ronald's got that dog, though.
what's that?
Ronald's got that dog,
Is
just
he?
like Kevin Holland. So
Yeah, Morono is a dog though, dude. So, yeah, like that dude trains all the time. Like he doesn't stop. Like there's guys that go show up and just like train and try to stay in a little bit of shape and stuff, but no, like he's like training for a fight all the time. So and I know Kevin Holland's definitely his mentality's changed a little bit too, though. Is like in the sense of like when it comes to fighting, like he does take it
yeah,
more serious. Still likes to joke around, like I said and stuff, but it's just I think I like I said, I don't know what his goals are, but he does when it comes to training. He is taking training serious.
yeah. After those losses to
Like Brunson,
Brunson,
Vittori,
Blonde
yeah.
Brunson. I was about to call him. I was about to just say Blonde,
Yeah.
Blonde
This ain't no
Brunson,
Frank
because the
Ocean album, dude.
But yeah, after the losses to him and was it Vittori?
Vittori, and he suffered another one. I can't remember who it was against.
But it was all due to getting taken down. You could see the shift in the way he fights and kind of how he acts and responds to things too. So I definitely think he's changing things up. And anytime you do that, you have to step back and assess yourself and have that desire to be better. And if you're just trying to go in there and fight and have fun fights, you don't do that. So I think he's trying to go towards the title. So I think he's taking this fight seriously. Just like you said, he's chill. He likes to have a good time. So he's enjoying himself while also taking it seriously. So I think he's going to be ready. I think he wins it.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you though. I could see where and how he wins it too. So on to the main card, and it's definitely not a slump. Far from it. You're gonna have I think it's gonna be just a MMA boxing match with Rob Font and Adrian Yanez. Sorry, we talk about Alex Morono so much. Adrian Yanez is taking on Rob Font, and this is exciting, dude.
Yeah, so I don't see that fight not being fun, but what I can see, and this isn't a knock, this is just, taking what we have, and this is what we do. We break down fights. We give our thoughts and I don't know if you'd call it a prediction, but I think if this fight were to be anything that could be considered boring, which it still wouldn't be, but is a very technical boxing fight, I think it could easily be that because both guys are really good. Both guys know how the implications of this fight. Rob Font, if he beats Adrian Yanez, he just stopped the next big thing, and then he puts his name right back up there. Adrian Yanez, if he beats Rob Font, you just beat one of the biggest names in the division.
Right.
So you're in the top. You're in the mix of the top guys, and I don't think he's being pushed too fast either. I think he's been pushed pretty well. I think he's worked and he's earned his way there. So if a win over Rob Font says a lot, and especially if it stays on the feet the whole time, it says a lot. So
yeah,
I would imagine they're both taking the fight very seriously, and they're going to go in there and try to implement their game plan. And that's what a lot of it's going to be about, is who can get their combinations to work, who can stop the other guy from landing. And I could easily see this fight being very technical, to the point where a casual might be like, they weren't really doing a whole lot. Like every now and then there'd be exchanges, but
Yeah.
outside of that, it wasn't much going on. And it's like, no, there's a big mental thing going on. Every time they aren't throwing punches, there's a big mental war going
Yeah,
on.
they're just looking for that flinch, you know.
But that being said, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're both going to go in there and throw down. I don't think that Adrian's going to let Rob, because I think Rob is the one that would kind of want space a little more.
Yeah.
And I don't think Adrian's going to give him that. I think Adrian's going to be the one pushing forward a lot. Because we saw Rob against like Cheeto, and how he dealt with pressure whenever Cheeto would put on his pressure.
Yeah.
Adrian's pressure is going to be a little different, but similar enough to where it poses problems. And I like to think that that's how Adrian's going to get a win. Knocking out Rob Font seems impossible at this point, but maybe he can do it.
I think he can do it. So like with where Rob Font is at as well, though, it's like, you know, he's pretty much like, if he doesn't, he's falling into that space of the gatekeeper of the division. And it sucks to see, because I like Rob Font. I'm a fan of his style. Sometimes. So let me clarify, but like, I'm a fan of his style sometimes, but he's also like really good though at the same time. Like he gets down. He doesn't go to the ground. When he does go to the ground, he also he knows how to get it right back to the feet. So like Adrian, we haven't seen Adrian look bad one time. I think the one time we've ever seen him look a little rough around the edges was when he fought Randy Costa. No, Randy Costa. That's how you pronounce it. He fought Randy Costa, and he had the first round, but then like it was only really half the first round, because he was getting jabbed up a lot. He was, you know, then he wasn't really moving his head. Then he
has a really good jab. Rob
Font.
Font.
Yeah, great jab. Like a fucking phenomenal. He has a phenomenal jab.
I don't mean to cut you off, but that's what I was getting at with. I could easily see this fight being a very mental, technical battle. Adrian's going to be looking out for that jab, and he's going to want to get inside of it real quick.
Yeah.
And Rob knows that he needs to stop that.
You usually like to get, whenever you're trying to use head movement, like with the jab, is you duck that, you know, northwest. You go northwest, which kind of leads to what Adrian is really good at, and that's the left hook, you know, or left uppercuts, and that's straight to the body, straight to the head. I mean, his fucking left hook, but all those Metro guys are really good at it, though. You ever notice that? Like their counter left hook is really good.
Yeah, we say it a lot. The Metro guys have really good hands. And you look at every single one of them, and it shows every single time. You look at David Wynn's fight, his first amateur fight.
Yeah.
He had a knockout. I want to say it was a left hook. I could be wrong. It could have been a right hook, but his hands looked really good. Jacob Silva, his hands always look good. Mana, his hands always look good. They are always really good with their boxing. They have a very good system over there when it comes to striking, and I think this fight lends itself to be a very fun matchup for Adrian and that style that runs through that whole gym. And it's kind of the potential for a really big thing to happen there at Metro.
Yeah, because I think when it comes down to like who hits harder, I think Adrian definitely hits harder.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
He has much heavier hands. Rob Font just really fights, like he point fights, and that's I think that's what's caused him to lose these past couple fights. Is whenever he doesn't really let his hands go. He fights long, and
he's a volume guy.
Yeah,
he's a volume.
He's exactly, he's a volume striker, and that's what I think has hurt him, because it's like, this isn't boxing, this is MMA. I mean, he got caught by a spinning heel kick the other day, his last fight against Cheeto Vera, and so I mean, that says right there, that's just like, when he got caught by it, and it's just like, okay, all you're thinking about is just hands. You know, you're not really focused on kicks. You're just focused on just fighting long. You know, jab, cross, all that shit. But if he wants to win this fight, I expect the way him to come in your fight is just fight long. You know, he has a great jab, and I think he's gonna fight behind that jab a lot this fight. But with Adrian, though, I think, especially because he's working with Michael Chase Corley, and so I think that he's mentioned in an interview that he's like been working with a Muay Thai guy a lot. And that Muay Thai guy is fucking phenomenal.
Happens to be the best in Texas.
Yeah. I mean,
possibly, arguably. We'll say arguably, just to not upset anybody.
Not piss anybody off, just in case. But
as far as modern American Muay Thai goes, Corley's as good as it gets,
Yeah.
and Heritage is as good as it gets with when it comes to the gym. Giannis has been working a lot over there. We see them post every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say this too when you're talking about Rob Font fighting lengthy with his jab. You know it works really well against the jab when you slip it? A roundhouse. You know what we've seen Adrian do? Get a knockout with a roundhouse. So I think that could be something that plays in too. So if Rob wants to fight lengthy, Adrian has answers for it.
And he's got the power to back it up too.
Yeah.
I see Adrian taking this, man, and I like Rob Font, but I don't really know what he brings to the table to completely negate Adrian Yanez. You know, I really like when it comes down to it, and I know that Rob Font has experience, and he's gotten to number 6 in a very stacked division for a reason. But like guys are finding out, like his past 2 fights have shown that they've been able to fight, like pretty much fight against how he
Yeah.
fights.
You can negate his style if you know what to look for.
Yeah, and it's just like with that pressure boxing, and that's what Adrian's really really good at. And so I think Adrian takes it. I think he gets a second round TKO if it's gonna come down to it. I think Rafa has a pretty solid round 1, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, okay, well, you know, it's looking rough for Adrian, but I mean, Adrian's really good at keeping his head straight and staying focused, and I think he gets a second round TKO. That's my prediction.
I'm pretty close or similar with that. I think I could see it being a third round. I could see the first round being mostly Rob Font just because he likes to do that. And like you were saying earlier, we've seen Adrian get touched a little bit in the first round, and once he gets it figured out, he's good to go. In the second round, he's going to come in and he's going to start landing, and Rob's going to have to. He's hard to finish, and he's top caliber. So it's not like Adrian's going to be able to go in there and just completely run through him in the second round. It's not a Rocky movie, you know, but maybe it could be. But I could see him winning the second round and Rob going to his corner for the third round and being like, all right, this is it. You have to go in there and you have to beat this kid. If you don't go in there and throw down and knock and put him away, there's a huge potential to lose this fight, which is not good for you. So I could see him going in there and trying to throw down with Adrian and getting knocked out for it.
Yeah.
So third round TKO Adrian.
Okay, sounds good. So we got the co-main event coming up. We have Gilbert Burns taking on the former King of Miami, Jorge Masvidal.
Boo.
Boo.
I'm not crazy about this fight. We've talked a little bit about it. I think that Gilbert Burns doesn't have a whole lot to gain from it in terms of rankings, and that's where my mind is usually at. Like you were talking about Raul Rosas being on the main card making sense because the fans want to see it. I don't care what the fans want to see. I think the company should do what's right for the fighters and do right by the fighters. Like Kelvin Gastelum taking a backseat to Raul Rosas Jr. is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I get that he's exciting, but having him on the main card, I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, Masvidal doesn't have anything with him anymore.
Yeah.
There's no weight to his name in the division anymore, so Gilbert Burns has nothing to gain from this except another win, which I guess he needs because no one else is fighting in the top 5 in the weight division.
No.
Maybe now they can. Who knows? We'll see if there's going to be I don't see them doing another rematch with Kamaru and Leon, but anyway, I think if Jorge Masvidal wins, it's cool because it sets up a match with him and Leon that he doesn't deserve, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm just not that excited for this one. I'm excited for it because it's going to be a fun fight, but as far as in terms of like rankings and future matchmaking, it's just people are going to get skipped over, and that's frustrating to me as long as Masvidal wins. But if Burns wins, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a for him. I think it's a matter of staying active. That's all.
Well, that's what some shit though is like. We're already seeing people getting skipped over right now. It's like Colby's already getting the main. He's already gonna get the title shot, and it's like, for what, dude? What are you gonna get the title shot for? Like, what have you done to get that title shot? I don't care.
Duck
so many fights.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we're just gonna get more of that with matchups like this.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the two guys, Masvidal and Burns. I don't know. I don't like it in terms of matchups and rankings, and I know people probably don't care about that stuff, um, but I think it's important to do what's right by the fighters, and kind of sucks. It's gonna suck for someone. I know I can feel it in my bones,
Yeah.
and if no one cares, I'm sorry.
You know who it's gonna suck for is fucking. It sucks for Bilal Muhammad
Yeah,
because I mean he's if so Colby's already gonna get the title shot over him, which I don't really think he should because it's like
absolutely not.
I don't think he should. And then he's got and then so Gilbert Burns beats Jorge Masvidal, or if Jorge Masvidal pulls off the win, they're gonna get the title shot after that. They're
And
gonna get the winner of that
you
fight.
look at the story that you would get if Colby wins the title and Masvidal beats Burns, they're going to give him a title shot.
Yeah.
If Leon beats Colby and Masvidal beats Burns, they're going to give him a title shot just because the story between the two. It's so easy to build promo for those because you have all the footage of their past conversations and Leon and him getting into it backstage.
Yeah.
It's too easy to do. The fans want to see it. The fighters want to fight each other. So it's gonna happen if Masvidal wins, and that's what I don't like. Especially, I'm a big Bilal fan. I've been a fan of his for a long time. I want to see him get a title shot. He's done everything you could possibly do to get a title shot, and he's still not given one. Just like Leon,
Yeah.
it took forever for Leon to get a title shot, and I would love to see him and Bilal run it back because that's something that we need to see as well. I think Bilal is better than he was when they first fought. Maybe not enough, but we won't know till we see it. And if he gets passed up from Masvidal, I quit. I don't know what I'm quitting, but I quit.
Like that's the thing is like I think if Masvidal wins, he gets a title shot for Bilal. But when it comes to it though, like okay, so back onto the whole conversation about the fight because I don't know, like I'm excited for this fight. I'm always excited to watch the Gilbert Burns fight. I'm always impressed to watch him fight. I didn't like him fighting Kamaru. Like that was like whenever I kind of was like, damn, I kind of like Gilbert Burns, you know, and since then, though, it's just like when he fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I didn't really know how I feel about the dude just because he kept fighting dirty the whole time. And he kept punching him in the back of the head and shit.
I see you.
And so he fucking, I don't know, like going into this fight with Masvidal, though, is really the Hosma fight was where he really gained a lot of people's
Yeah.
respect, you know,
Yeah.
just because it showed how much he loves the fight. And I think with this fight right now is just like he's gonna go in there and I mean if he wants to take it to the ground he can take it to the ground. I don't think Masvidal's gonna be able to stop the pressure that Gilbert Burns brings. I think he'll be able to like hold off on it for a little bit, but when they get it to the ground, it's just gonna be a stalemate because Jorge Masvidal knows how to do enough just to not get submitted, but he doesn't really do enough to get back onto his feet, you know. And he talked about like if he doesn't beat Gilbert Burns, then that's probably gonna be if he loses to Gilbert Burns, that's probably it.
I think he said he was probably going to retire
Yeah,
if he doesn't win.
and
I think
so
I saw that anyway.
yeah, which I think is chicken shit because it's just like you fucking ducked Leon this whole time. Now he's got the belt, and then now you're gonna retire because you can't put together a good win.
Well, what was he going to do? Wait for Leon to lose it or
Yeah.
retire so they can fight in Game Bread or something stupid like that?
Something dumb, dude. They're gonna fucking do a Siamese twin boxing match.
The fight circus.
Yeah. That's a whole different fucking subject. So
We, if you've seen Fight Circus, let us know if you want us to cover that at all, please. And because I kind of want to, but yeah, the Bob Sapp Rampage thing, we won't get into that right now. But if you haven't seen it, look it up.
I like, but like with Gilbert though, like he does kind of get a little sloppy, and I feel like that's where so like Jorge Masvidal beforehand, before the fame and all that, like he would have caught that.
Yeah.
Now he's super cocky, he's super full, he's super arrogant when he fights, and it's like he doesn't take advantage of it. He'll let you hit, like you hit him, you crack him one time, he'll just drop his hand and smile at you,
Yeah.
and then just go against the cage and kind of put his chin out there. And it's like, why don't you do something about that? Like, why don't you? Where's the seriousness? Like, stop looking at this dude like you're the fucking second coming of Jesus, and actually fight this dude and show that you want to be here. You know, it's just like, and that's where I feel like a lot of it is really starting to fuck with him. Is now he's gotten the fame and the respect that he's worked so hard for, and he's completely just throwing it under the bus now. You know, I understand he does wake up at 6 a.m. to go train and do all this stuff, but like I mean when it comes down to the seriousness, like how serious are you taking this now? And I don't think he's taking it serious like anymore since even the Kamaru fights. Like I think Kamaru is a better fighter regardless, but I don't know how serious he took those fights when it came down to it, you know. And I don't know. I'm going Gilbert Burns. I think Gilbert Burns when it comes down to it, he is a fighter, and Jorge Masvidal is just I don't know what he
I
is.
think that Gilbert Burns is the modern day Thiago Alves, and if you look at it, it's very accurate. So I'm going Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, I think Gilbert Burns is gonna beat the shit out of him. Not like even if it's not a throwdown fight, I think he's just gonna ragdoll them. I don't know what Jorge Masvidal is gonna do. If he gets a flying knee knockout again or some fucking crazy shit, I'm gonna be hyped. I'm gonna be excited about it.
I'm
But
gonna hit my head against the wall really hard.
because you know what's coming
Yeah,
next. Yeah,
especially if that's how he wins
yeah,
it.
he's gonna come in the middle of Leon versus fucking Bilal with a steel chair and do all that. It's gonna be
Ben
crazy.
Askren's gonna jump the cage and pick up Gilbert Burns, and they're both gonna be looking at Jorge Masvidal all serious and it's intense, and then they're just gonna jump him.
Yeah,
The
and
bell's gonna
then
ring, a ref's gonna come in.
Leon's gonna hit him with a super kick. Ben Askren with a pedigree. They're gonna tell him to suck it, and
Yeah.
then they're gonna do a fucking fatal 4-way. See,
Something or another.
yeah, somehow Ben Askren gets thrown into the mix. Then like, yeah, he just next you know he's back. He's like, I want my rematch because I deserve the actual rematch. And then
That's who I started with. Was
yeah,
Ben Askren.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. And then they're gonna do a fatal 4-way. One person gets when one person's out, they pull them out. They down to 2 people. It's gonna be intense, man. It's somehow, some way, mankind's gonna show up. He's gonna pull a sock out of his crotch and put it in Jorge's mouth. So yeah,
He's gonna be like, "This is for all the guys who get beat up by you,
yeah,
guys like me." And then he looks at Ben Askren, who's like, "I'm no,
yeah.
no, I'm better than you."
He's gonna he's gonna have the mandible claw on Jorge. He's gonna be like, you know where I found this sock? Behind my bed. And then everyone's gonna know what he meant by that. Or be like, that's disgusting.
We're getting very off topic, but I don't know what that means.
You don't know like the sock behind the bed joke?
No,
No, fucking.
I think that sounds like something we should move on from.
Oh yeah, because I don't know how because I don't know how else to describe it because it gets really gross.
Yeah, that's about what I figured.
And
So we've already talked about the main event.
yeah. And so we have discussed the main event. We watch each other's thoughts and breakdown on what we think is going to happen, and we're pretty much on the same page.
Yeah, turns out we probably didn't need to do individual videos.
I was thinking about to say, it turned out it was a waste of time.
But no, it was actually kind of fun to do that. I liked it. It was funny to see that the first time we talked about doing that for a while, so it's funny to see that the first time we actually do it, we basically say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Izzy wants to win this fight, he needs to put his ego to the side and use a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Take it to the ground. Find a way to get it to the ground. Dirty box your way to it. Whatever you got to do.
I know we're just too pure with the sport, too pure fans. You know, we're not. We don't get very fan friendly with it. But I don't know, man. I mean, what it comes down to is that we enjoy this, but we also look at this from a technical standpoint, and that's one of the favorite things that we enjoy doing. And yeah, like Adesanya has to mix it up because no matter how good on paper he is against Alex Pereira, and I'll keep saying fucking Pereira, David. All right. So I got a coworker who tries to correct me. He's like, it's Pereira. If you want to say that correctly.
Go to Brazil and try to convince them that it's Pereira, and you'll get stabbed. So
yeah, have fun with that one. But so yeah, I think Pereira just has that.
Thank you for listening.
Appreciate the listen though. Yeah, for sure, dude. He's gonna see me at work and be like, "Why'd you threaten me on your podcast?"
Yeah, it's okay. You can tell him I did it.
Okay, bet.
And you're like, I did not tell him to say that.
So he but yeah, Alex Pereira. So he just has that type of power. Like no matter he is of the caliber to kickbox with Izzy. You know, and go ahead.
Because we're saying the same thing anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll just yeah. All right. So their kickboxing is on the same level with how good they are at what they do. Izzy's a little bit more fluid, he has a little bit more in his arsenal, but Alex is better at what he does, which is just throwing really hard, clean combinations, which is why he was able to catch Izzy, because Izzy's usually a little bit more open. He does a little bit more, like I said, fluid movements. But that's exactly why Izzy can't do that anymore, because that's why he's gotten knocked out every single time, is because his style of kickboxing, even though it's gotten him where he is, he has to change it up a little bit. Because if he doesn't, then the guy who keeps knocking him out or keeps beating him, he's just going to do it again.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that Izzy is just as good, if not better, than Alex on the feet in terms of like what he can do. Because we've seen him rock Alex. We've seen him hurt Alex. We've seen him look better than Alex. He was winning that fight, arguably, when they fought in the UFC last. So it's a matter of, do you really want to test it and go down that same road to see if you get a different result? Or do you want to change it up a little bit?
Yeah. What did you think about that little ground exchange that we talked about in the third round?
Yeah, it was a little awkward.
Probably not as bad as I made it out to be.
No, I don't. I think it was both guys trying to get up, but not get stuck in something on their way up, because I think Izzy was kind of happy to be where he was, but he wanted to be on the feet.
Yeah.
He's obviously more comfortable there, so you could tell he wanted to be on the feet, but he was kind of taking it in stride, but then was like, "Nah, let's just get up." And then when Alex started making his way up anyway, I was like, okay. But I hope he worked on it, because I don't know that I necessarily want Israel Adesanya to win. I think truth be told, I'm happy either way.
Yeah.
Because I like both guys. They're both really fun to watch. But if Alex wins, it's either going to put the division on a standstill, because who's going to beat Izzy? He's already beaten all of them, so they're going to have to go over him to fight Alex, and then do they win? I don't know, because he's just as good at striking as Izzy, so
yeah,
we'll see. But if Izzy wins, we just get to go back to more of the same, and then I would hope that Alex moves up a weight division.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see him move up a weight division, but then again, like, people that are going for Izzy, I totally get why, because his mentality and the way he holds himself is fun, and he's an entertaining person. But if you do not feel like people, the thing is, like, I feel like people have the memory of a fish when it comes to certain things, and he was not a fun champion. Like,
no, Yoel Romero is one of the most boring fights we've ever seen. Not just from Izzy, but in general.
His rematch with Robert Whittaker was not fun. His fight against Marvin Vettori was not fun. His
that was
fight
terrible.
Jaron Cannonier was terrible.
I was okay with that. I wouldn't call that one terrible. It wasn't exciting, but it was both guys doing their best to force the other guy to do what they wanted them to without falling into the other guy's traps. And what sucks is they're both great counters for each other. And when you're at that level and you're aware of that, and you can fight while being aware of that, it doesn't always mean it's an exciting fight. But I liked it.
Do you remember we watched that fight together? Do you remember what I did when we were watching that fight?
Did you fall asleep?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he only had really...
I get it. I get that it's not like an exciting fight.
Yeah.
So if people don't like it, that's fine. But I appreciated it because I saw what Jared was doing and I saw what Izzy was doing. You don't want to get hit by Jared. And Jared doesn't want to go in on Izzy trying to hit him. So it's...
I'll let fucking Jared hit me, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I hope we meet him one day so we can tell him that.
And I'll be like, real quick, we won't press charges. In fact, I'll pay you money.
I'll pay you money to knock my friend the fuck out. But like, he only really had one good title defense. And that was, I mean, like the sense of like who he is and the shit he talks and the way he presents himself. Like the only one that actually lived up to the entire hype of everything was the Paulo Costa one. That was it.
Yeah, that was so good though.
Yeah, it was a great performance and it showed exactly what he's good at, and that's being a counter striker, and he has the best stand up in the division. Every other fight that he had while he was champion was not fun. It was boring. Like I remember after the Vettori fight, I think I even told you, I was like, we're never buying another fucking Israel Adesanya pay-per-view. Just because it's just, that's super harsh to say, I get it, but it's like, and the reason why I say that we're not doing this because we always go half on them, because fuck paying $80. It's a lot. It's expensive. And so like I told him, I was like, dude, like, nah, man, like I don't really want to do that. And what did we do? We bought another one.
Yep. And now we're gonna buy this one because Adrian Yanez is on it.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm actually not buying it. I'm going to a place to watch it.
See, look at that. You're better than me already, because guess who's fucking buying it?
Are you working? Or no, you're not. You are.
I'm on days, okay. Yeah, but I'll be on days, but I'm off that night. But we're doing the Easter stuff with the family, with the famo. So yeah, man.
Paying $80 for that, man.
I don't know, dude. Like I want Peheyo to win just because it's different face of the division. I think there's plenty of guys in that division that could beat him as well.
It's just if he wins, how long does he stay in that weight class before he moves up? He's gonna move up. He has to move up.
Yeah. And so yeah,
I don't know, man.
I think. Well, there's talks about Robert Whitaker versus Hazmat going on, and so imagine if they're just like, "Hey, we're just gonna book Robert versus Hazmat for the title."
For a vacant belt?
Yeah,
No, they wouldn't.
but like, let's just say they do that because Izzy gets knocked out.
Yeah, if they were to do that for a hypothetical, that would be really frustrating because you put Hamza as the middleweight champion. What does that do to his standing in welterweight? That's really annoying. And then if he beats Robert Whitaker, that just pushes Robert Whitaker that much further down,
Yeah,
which that's annoying. I think everybody loves Robert Whitaker, so everybody can agree with that. That's annoying to see him get pushed down that far. And then you get what, Izzy versus Hamzat after that, and
yeah,
that I'll tell you that right now, that will not be a fun fight
no,
unless you're a Hamzat fan,
yeah,
because he will take that fight to the ground and he will smear Izzy across the canvas, and then it'll be over.
fucking dude. I was thinking about they asked Robert Whitaker at the when they were doing the UFC Australia, and they asked him like, "You, so what do you think about fighting Hazmat?" I don't want to fight that guy. That guy's scary.
Yeah,
And Taito Viasa gets on the mic from it, and then it gets to the mic and was like, "Cause he's a big pussy. That's why." And it was super fucking funny though. I don't know. Taito Viasa's hilarious,
yeah,
but yeah, man. I don't know. I just want to see Robert Whitaker champ again, just because.
yeah. I'm a really big fan of his. I just don't see it happening. If it does happen with like him and Hamzat, like you were saying, if that does happen, I guess it's cool. Anything to like get things going again in the middleweight division
Yeah.
is cool, I guess.
I mean, but I think Robert has a good chance against Bahia, as out there as it sounds, though.
I don't.
I think besides, like, I think he's gonna because Robert mixes it up way better than Alex does.
Yeah, but Izzy also does mix
Yeah,
it up way better than Alex.
yeah,
But that's it. Does I don't think that matters because they're just Robert will bring it to you, Izzy won't.
yeah.
Um, but I'll say this: what have we seen Robert struggle with before? Lengthy guys who are longer and bigger than him. Izzy's longer and bigger than him, and he has a lot of trouble getting in on him. Alex is giant for that weight division.
He's too big. Like
So I think he struggles with it. And if he ever does get inside his reach, he's going to get hit. And
what if he misses weight?
Alex,
Yeah,
I don't know. If he misses weight, they'll treat it like you would any other time someone misses weight. Let him know it can't keep happening. But if it ever keeps happening, if it becomes a thing with him, move up.
he's the champ.
Move up or get out.
He's the champ now, though. So if the
I don't care.
champ misses weight, I mean, what do you do?
That's what I'm saying.
Apparently they they strip him. So
yeah, I don't know. Charles Oliveira got treated a certain way for it. So
yeah, I don't know, man. That shit was fucked up. Justice for Charles. Yeah.
Charlie Olives, free my boy.
Yeah, make him champ again.
Well,
what's
no,
up?
Not yet.
Yeah, come on, man, come on. But yeah, man, that's UFC 287. We're just kind of rambling on at this point, really, because we already talked about this fight.
Yeah,
but
well, let us know your thoughts. We'll go ahead and just end it there.
Yeah,
we'll stop bothering you.
Sorry to bother you, my friendship, but yeah, man, that's UFC 287. And so let us know your picks. Let us know what your thoughts are on our short videos that we made. We want to start doing those more just because it seemed fun to be able to express ourselves and talk a little more just one-on-one with how we think about things and go about talking about the sport. Yeah, that's
you don't have to listen to us ramble on for an hour before we get to it either. So that's cool.
Some people really might appreciate that shit.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, let us know if you like that, and if you do, we'll keep going and we'll get better at it. I think I said that in mine. The idea is to always be getting better every episode, and I don't think we're doing that. I think we just enjoy doing what we do.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I would like, if that's something that we do, I think that has a little bit more room to grow in, and that'd be fun to do.
Yeah.
So let us know. Comment, please. Let us know. Follow on Instagram at devinthebear.com. Just kidding. But peace.